The phone buzzed on the kitchen counter, and my mother's voice came through on speaker while the doorbell rang nonstop outside. She said the guests are arriving and asked why the bride is not answering. The doorbell kept ringing louder, and someone started knocking like they owned the place. My maid of honor pounded the door from the hallway and yelled that the venue coordinator was threatening to cancel. A text alert lit up the screen with a photo attachment, and my sister's name glowed above it. The image loaded, and the heir left the room. He was standing in front of the arch wearing the suit we picked together. She was holding his arm in a white dress that was not mine. Behind them, the venue sign still had my name on it. The door burst open, and my maid of honor froze when she saw my face. Her mouth moved, but no sound came out. Another text arrived. Then another. Different angles. Different smiles. Same message. We beat you. The hallway filled with voices. My mother screamed my name from down the stairs. The wedding planner rushed in with a clipboard and a forced smile that died instantly. She asked if this was a joke. I showed her the phone. She sat down on the floor. The knocking turned into yelling. Someone said the groom was missing. Someone else said the sister had gone missing too. My father shouted that he was calling the police. Another photo arrived. This one was a close-up. Her hand on his chest. My ring on her finger. The one he proposed with. The one he swore was only for me. My maid of honor grabbed the phone and threw it on the bed. She said we are not doing this. She said we are walking out. I told her to open the window. She asked why. Sirens echoed somewhere outside. The doorbell finally stopped. My phone buzzed again from a group chat. Family updates. It said they are at the venue. It said they are getting married. It said everyone is confused. It said they claim I gave them my blessing. My mother's voice came back on the line, now crying. She said, please come down. She said this is not funny. She said people are watching. I picked up the phone and sent one message. This is a lie. No one replied. Another photo appeared. This time it was the kiss. The crowd in the background looked shocked. Some faces familiar. Some smiling. My aunt was clapping. My cousin thumbs up. My best friend face pale. My mother in the back covering her mouth. My sister smiling like she won. The wedding planner asked if she should cancel. I told her to leave. She asked about the contract. I told her to go. The maid of honor locked the door. She sat next to me on the floor. She asked if I wanted water. My phone buzzed again. A video started playing on its own. The officiant voice announced them as husband and wife. Cheers erupted. My name echoed in my head without sound. Another message from my sister. Thank you for understanding. I threw the phone against the wall. It did not break. The screen stayed on. Another message from him. We did not mean to hurt you. It just happened. We have been in love for a while. I laughed so hard I could not breathe. The maid of honor looked at me like I was bleeding. Downstairs the music started. Our song. The one he chose. The one he said would be ours forever. The maid of honor stood up and said we are leaving now. I shook my head. I told her I want to see. She asked see what? I said everything. We walked down the back stairs. No one stopped us. The hall was packed. People turned and stared. Whispers followed. Some looked away. Some looked curious. Some looked guilty. At the end of the aisle they were standing together. My sister had changed into a sparkling dress. He had the same smile he used when he lied to me. The officiant cleared his throat. My mother ran toward me. She tried to hug me. I stepped back. She said we can fix this. She said families forgive. My father would not look at me. My sister saw me and her smile tightened. She whispered something to him. He turned and his face went white. The music stopped. The room went silent. He took a step toward me. Security appeared like they had been waiting. The wedding planner spoke too loud and said we need to keep things civil. My sister walked over and held out her hand. She said, thank you for coming. She said, I know this is hard. She said you will get over it. She said we hope you stay for cake. Someone laughed. It was not me. My maid of honor stepped between us. She said, do not touch her. My sister rolled her eyes. She said, always so dramatic. She turned to the crowd and said we had been separated for months. She said, I gave my blessing. She said, love wins. The crowd murmured. I heard someone say that makes sense. I heard someone say, poor girl. I heard someone say she is unstable. My phone buzzed again. A new group chat. Family memories. A photo of them cutting the cake. The caption said our special day. My sister looked at me and smiled wider. She said you should smile for the camera. She said this day will be remembered. The officiant asked if anyone objected. No one spoke. I took a step forward. Security shifted. My father finally looked at me. His eyes said do not. I stopped. The officiant finished. Applause broke out. Confetti fell. My sister leaned into him. She whispered loud enough for me to hear. Thank you for the dress. The maid of honor grabbed my hand. She pulled me toward the exit. Behind us, someone shouted cheers. My phone buzzed one last time. A photo of their first dance. The caption said, just the beginning. The doors closed behind us. And the lock clicked from the inside. The elevator doors slammed shut behind us, and someone inside started crying. The maid of honor dragged me through the parking garage while guests poured out the front entrance. Phones were already up. Flashes went off. Someone yelled my name. A car alarm screamed when she slammed her palm on the hood. She shoved me into the passenger seat, and the engine roared. We sped out as confetti stuck to the windshield. My phone vibrated in my lap without mercy. Message after message. Family. Friends. Unknown numbers. I did not answer. The venue shrunk in the rearview mirror while fireworks exploded above it. Fireworks we paid for. She drove until the city lights turned sparse. She pulled over hard on the shoulder. She put the car in park and finally looked at me. Her face crumpled. She said something, but I could not hear it over the blood in my ears. My phone lit up again. A video. I pressed play. They were giving a toast. My sister held the mic like she was born with it. She thanked everyone for supporting their love. She thanked me by name. She said some people are not strong enough to fight for what they want. She said we were brave. She said we did this the right way. Laughter followed. My hand started shaking. The maid of honor took the phone and turned it off. She said, "You are not watching this." I opened the door and stepped out onto the gravel. Cold air hit my face. Cars flew past. I bent over and threw up. She held my hair without saying a word. When I stood back up, my phone was already on again. Missed calls filled the screen. My mother. My aunt. My father. His mother. Her husband. A number from out of state. I answered the wrong one. It was my mother. She was whispering like someone might hear. She said, "Please come home." She said, "We will explain." She said, "Your sister is emotional." She said, "You should have talked to us." She said, "This is not how family handles things." I hung up. The phone rang again immediately. This time it was him. I let it ring. Then he voicemailed. His voice sounded calm. Too calm. He said he did not plan this. He said he tried to tell me. He said I would not listen. He said love does not ask permission. He said, "Please do not make this harder." The maid of honor took the phone and deleted it. She said, "You are not going back." She started driving again. We did not go to my apartment. We went to hers. Boxes of wedding favors were still in the trunk. She did not ask what to do with them. She parked and helped me carry one inside. Her living room looked normal. Too normal. The TV was on. A news alert scrolled across the bottom. Local couple marries in shocking ceremony. My name was not mentioned. Yet. She turned it off. She made tea. She sat me on the couch. She put a blanket over my shoulders. Then my phone buzzed again. A group chat I did not recognize. Newlyweds. Photos flooded in. Hotel room. Champagne. The dress on the floor. His shoes by the bed. My sister took a selfie in the mirror. She wrote, "We did it." Then she added, "Thank you for being mature." Then a laughing emoji. I stood up. The room tilted. The maid of honor caught me. She took the phone and blocked numbers. She said, "We will handle this tomorrow." I did not sleep. I stared at the ceiling until morning. At sunrise there was a knock. Then another. Then my name. The maid of honor answered the door. My father stood there. He looked smaller. He asked to come in. She looked at me. I nodded. He sat on the edge of the chair like a stranger. He said, "Your sister is upset." He said she feels attacked. He said people are asking questions. He said we need to control the story. I asked him which part was a lie. He did not answer. He said blood is blood. He said you only get one family. He said you can still be in their lives. I asked if he knew. He looked at the floor. He said it was complicated. My mother walked in behind him. She did not hug me. She sat next to him and held his hand. She said, "We are disappointed in how you left." She said it made a scene. She said you should have stayed graceful. I laughed. I asked if they were staying at my hotel. She said yes. She said your sister needed space. She said she is sensitive. My phone buzzed. A notification from social media. Someone had posted the video. The kiss. The confetti. The cheers. Comments were already piling up. People argued. Some defended them. Some asked where I was. Someone tagged me. My sister commented a heart. My mother asked me to take a break from the internet. I asked them to leave. They hesitated. The maid of honor opened the door. They left without looking back. An hour later, a courier arrived. He had flowers. A card. From them. It said no hard feelings. I threw them in the trash. Another delivery came. This time a box. Inside was my wedding dress. Wrinkled. Stained with champagne. A note on top. Thank you for letting me borrow this. I screamed. The maid of honor picked up the dress with 2 fingers. She put it in a black bag. She said, we are keeping this. That night the photos started circulating. Them at the beach. Them at dinner. Them in bed with sheets pulled up. Captions about fate. About soulmates. About being brave enough to choose happiness. Each one sent to me directly. I blocked. They made new accounts. Numbers. Emails. A package arrived with a printed album. Our engagement photos. My face cropped out. Her face photoshopped in. I got fired the next week. My boss said clients were uncomfortable. He said drama follows you. I moved. I changed my number. I thought it would stop. It did not. Every holiday came with a new photo. Every anniversary. Every birthday. Their first house. Their first dog. Their first vacation. Always sent to me. Always with a message. Still hurting. Hope you are healing. Look how happy we are. Years passed like this. Then one afternoon my phone buzzed with a name I did not recognize. It was a teenager. She asked, are you my aunt? And attached a screenshot of a message her mother had sent her by accident. The message timestamp showed 3 minutes ago, and my hands went cold. The screenshot filled the screen. It was a family group chat. My name was in it. My sister had written that I was unstable. She wrote that I tried to ruin her wedding. She wrote that I had been obsessed with him for years. She wrote that they needed to protect their kids from me. Under it, my mother reacted with a heart. My father wrote, let it go, she is happier now. The teenager sent another message. She said, I think this was not meant for you. She said, my mom grabbed my phone. She said, but I already read it. She said, I have questions. My phone started ringing immediately. Blocked number. I let it ring. Another call. Then a text. Please do not talk to her. She is just a kid. I did not reply. The teenager typed again. She said, is it true? She said, did you almost marry my dad? She said, why does everyone say you are crazy? I sat down on the edge of the bed. The room felt smaller. I asked her how old she was. She said 16. She said she found old photos once. She said her mom said you were a jealous ex. She said, but the dates do not make sense. She said you look happy in them. She said I look like you. I closed my eyes. My phone buzzed with a new message. This one from her younger brother. He sent a meme. Then another text. He said, Mom is yelling. He said, Dad looks scared. He said, are you really evil? The word hit harder than anything else. I typed slowly. I said I was engaged to him. I said the wedding was planned. I said your mom was my sister. I said they got married that day. 3 dots appeared. Then disappeared. Then appeared again. She asked why everyone lied. She asked if I have proof. I did not hesitate. I sent one photo. The engagement announcement. My name. His name. The date. I sent another. The venue contract. My signature. I sent another. A screenshot of his text from 2 days before the wedding. Cannot wait to be your husband. Silence. Then a long message came in. She said my mom said you forged things. She said Dad said it was complicated. She said I do not believe them. She said they are fighting right now. My phone rang. This time it was a video call. Her face appeared. She looked like a mirror. Same eyes. Same expression when confused. She asked me to tell her everything. I took a breath. I told her only facts. I did not cry. I did not insult. I did not add anything. I told her dates. I told her places. I told her who knew. I told her who stayed silent. Her mouth trembled. She asked if they ever apologized. I shook my head. She asked if I ever tried to ruin them. I said no. She asked why they keep sending you pictures. I laughed without humor. She covered her mouth. The call ended suddenly. A message followed. She said Mom took my phone. She said please do not block me. She said I will find a way. An hour later my sister called. Her voice was sharp. She asked what I told her. She said you had no right. She said you were poisoning my children. She said you always wanted to hurt me. I asked her when she planned to tell them. She screamed. She said you were weak. She said you would not have survived marriage. She said he chose me. She said I should be thankful. I asked if he knew she was on the phone. Silence. Then he came on. He sounded tired. He said this is getting out of hand. He said the kids are upset. He said we need to present a united front. I asked united against what? He said against you. He said you should have moved on. I asked if he ever planned to tell them the truth. He said what truth? I hung up. That night the teenager messaged from a new account. She said I am at my grandma's. She said mom and dad are fighting. She said dad packed a bag. She said he keeps saying he did not think it would matter. She said my brother is crying. She said can I come see you? I said yes. The next morning she showed up with a backpack. She looked around like she was afraid of cameras. She sat on my couch and held the pillow tight. She asked if she was a mistake. The question cut deep. I told her no. I told her none of this was her fault. She asked if her mom loved her. I said I think she loves herself more. She nodded like she already knew. Her brother arrived later. He would not look at me. He asked if his dad was a bad guy. I said adults make choices. He asked if choices break families. I did not answer. That evening my parents called. They were angry. They said I crossed a line. They said I manipulated children. They said my sister was devastated. They said her marriage was on the brink. I asked if they cared. They said of course. They said about everyone. I asked why they never defended me. They said we did what we thought was best. I asked best for who. They hung up. The kids stayed the night. My sister showed up at midnight. She banged on the door. She yelled my name. She said you are stealing my kids now. I called the police. She left before they arrived. The next day social media exploded. A post went viral. Someone shared the old engagement announcement. Someone added screenshots. Someone tagged her. People started asking questions. Old friends spoke up. The maid of honor posted her story. The wedding planner commented. Even the officiant liked a post. My sister deactivated her account, then made a new one. She posted a statement. She said she was groomed. She said I was abusive. She said she saved him. Her daughter saw it. She messaged me one word. Liar. Then another. Her. Not. You. My phone rang again. This time it was my brother-in-law father. He asked if we could talk. He sounded broken. He said he always suspected something was off. He said the timeline never fit. He said the kids refused to come home. He said my son is sleeping on my couch. He asked what do we do now? I looked at the two kids sitting on my floor, watching TV, trying to pretend, and I realized the truth was not done yet, because they had not even asked the one question that would burn everything down. Who knew before the wedding? The front door opened without a knock and my brother-in-law father stepped inside with a folder clutched to his chest. He looked at the kids first, then at me. Then he sat down like his legs gave out. He said I asked everyone that question. He said no one would answer. He opened the folder. Inside were printed emails. Old ones. Wedding deposits. Venue changes. Guest list edits. My name crossed out. Her name added. Dates from 6 months before the wedding. My stomach dropped. He said the venue manager gave these to me. He said she felt sick after seeing the post. He said she remembered a meeting. A private one. With my sister. With my mother. Without me. He looked at the kids again. He said they knew. The word hit the room like smoke. The daughter sat up straighter. She asked who. He said your grandparents. He said your aunt. He said some cousins. He said they all knew before the invitations went out. The son stood up. He said dad said it was a surprise. He said mom said love is complicated. He said everyone lied. I asked when. The father-in-law swallowed hard. He said 3 weeks after the engagement. He said there was a dinner. He said your mother told us it would be better this way. He said she said you would understand. I felt the floor tilt. The daughter started crying without sound. The son kicked the table. He yelled that they made him a joke. My phone buzzed. A message from my cousin. She said please stop. She said you are ruining everything. She said auntie is sick. I did not reply. The father-in-law pulled out another paper. A handwritten note. From my mother. It said she will be fine. It said she is too emotional to handle marriage. It said this will save everyone. The daughter asked if she could see it. She read it slowly. Her face changed. She folded it carefully. She said I am not going back. That night their father came. He did not knock. He did not look at me. He dropped his keys on the counter. He told the kids to pack. The daughter refused. The son asked one question. He asked did you love her? Silence. Then the father said that is not the point. The daughter laughed. She said that is always the point. He tried to argue. He said adults make mistakes. He said you will understand when you are older. The son said you were older. He left alone. The next day, my sister filed for a temporary order. She claimed I was influencing minors. She claimed emotional abuse. She claimed I was a danger. The kids lawyered up with their grandfather. The judge requested evidence. My phone filled with messages. Family divided. Some apologizing. Some demanding silence. My mother sent one text. She said, "Why could you not just let it go?" Court was quiet. The judge read timelines. Read emails. Read the note. My sister's face twitched. The judge asked one question. "Why did you tell them?" She gave her blessing. My sister said because it was easier. The judge denied the order. The kids stayed. Outside, cameras waited. My sister pushed past me. She hissed that I won. She said, "Enjoy it." She said, "This will cost you." That week, more people talked. Old friends. Vendors. A bridesmaid. She said she quit that morning. She said she could not watch it. Screenshots surfaced. A group chat named Plan B. Messages about timing. About keeping me busy. About making sure I would not show up. My sister wrote she will break, but she always does. My mother reacted with a thumbs up. The internet turned. Articles appeared. Timeline exposed. Comment sections filled. Support. Hate. Speculation. My job called. They asked if I wanted to speak. I said no. The kids went back to school. They got stares. Whispers. The daughter came home one day shaking. She said a teacher asked if her mom was a homewrecker. The son got in a fight. Their father did not come to pick them up. He sent a text. He said he needed time. My sister posted again. She said she was being attacked. She said women tear each other down. She said the past should stay buried. Her daughter commented, "Why did you lie to me?" It got deleted. The grandparents tried mediation. They asked for peace. They asked me to apologize. I asked for what? They said for telling the truth. I said no. That night the daughter asked me something quiet. She asked if I ever wanted kids. I said I did. She asked if you hate us. I said never. She hugged me too tight. The son watched from the hall. Later he slid a piece of paper under my door. It said, "Thank you for not lying." Another court date came. This time for divorce. My sister sat alone. Their father looked broken. He would not look at me. The judge asked about assets. About dates. About infidelity. My sister interrupted. She pointed at me. She said this is all her fault. The judge asked for silence. The ruling came. Separation granted. Custody temporary. The kids chose their grandparents. Not their parents. Outside, my mother collapsed. An ambulance came. She gripped my hand. She whispered we did what we thought was right. I did not answer. That night my phone buzzed one more time. A message from an unknown number. It said, "I have something you should see." It said I was there. It sent a photo. A table. A dinner. 6 people. My mother. My father. My sister. Him. The officiant. And me. Smiling. The date stamped 2 months before the engagement. The caption underneath said, "Do you remember this night?" The photo stayed on my screen while the kids slept in the other room, and the house felt like it was holding its breath. Another message came in from the same number. It said, "You deserve to know everything." Then a video loaded. It shook. Low light. Voices around a table. Wine glasses. Laughter. My laughter. The camera turned. My face clear. Happy. Unaware. The voice behind the camera said, "To new beginnings." Everyone clinked glasses. My sister leaned into him. My mother smiled at them. The officiant raised his glass. Someone said this is the right order of things. The video ended. My hands went numb. That dinner was real. I remembered it now. They told me it was a celebration. They told me it was about family. They told me nothing was changing. 2 months later he proposed. And everyone already knew. The number texted again. It said I was the one filming. I froze. Then another message. It said you asked me to keep it. It said I could not live with it anymore. It said I am sorry. A name appeared. My cousin. The same one who told me to stop. The same one who said I was ruining everything. I typed one word. Why? 3 dots appeared. Then disappeared. Then a paragraph came. She said they told us you were fragile. She said they said you would break. She said they said this was mercy. She said I believed them. She said I am ashamed. She said I have more. She sent screenshots. A group chat. Same name. Plan B. Messages from months before. My sister saying he is already mine. My mother saying we will handle her. My father saying make it clean. The officiant saying the timeline can be managed. My cousin liking the message. My name mentioned like an object. Like a problem. Like collateral. I did not cry. The anger was too clean. Too sharp. The kids woke up. The daughter stood in the hallway. She asked, is it worse? I showed her. She read without blinking. She handed the phone back. She said they do not get to call this love. The son asked one thing. He asked, did Grandpa know? I nodded. He sat down hard. He said, then no one is safe. That morning we met with their grandfather. He looked older. Smaller. He read everything. He closed his eyes. He said, I failed you. He said I failed them. He asked what I wanted. The question landed heavy. I wanted justice. I wanted silence. I wanted them to hurt. I wanted them to understand. I wanted my life back. The kids looked at me, waiting, trusting. I said I want the truth to stop being whispered. He nodded. He said then it has to be public. He said once it is out you cannot take it back. The wait settled. That afternoon, a journalist called. Then another. Then a lawyer. They wanted statements. Timelines. Documents. I gave nothing yet. My sister sent a message. First one in weeks. She said please. She said Mom is not well. She said you have done enough. She said think about what you are doing. I typed slowly. I said you thought about me for years. I said this is me thinking now. She did not reply. That night my mother called. Her voice was weak. She said I was trying to kill her. She said stress could kill. She said you were always sensitive. She said why can you not just move on? I asked her one question. I asked when you look at me do you see a daughter or a mistake? She hung up. The kids' school called. They asked if we wanted counseling. They asked if the media was contacting them. The daughter said I do not want to hide. The son said I want them to know. We sat at the table. 3 of us. Truth between us. I told them what public means. I told them about comment sections. About strangers. About being reduced to a story. They listened. They still said yes. My cousin sent one more message. She said I will testify. She said I do not care if they cut me off. She said I am tired of carrying this. The officiant resigned. He released a statement. He said he was misled. The internet did not believe him. The venue released emails. The planner spoke again. The maid of honor shared everything. A timeline formed. Clean. Ugly. Impossible to deny. My sister account went dark. My father retired early. My mother stopped calling. Their father filed an affidavit. He said he lied. He said he was weak. He said he thought he could outrun it. He moved out of state. The kids did not go with him. The article draft hit my inbox. Headline clear. Names included. Receipts linked. I read it 3 times. The kids sat quiet. The daughter asked if this would make them hate her. I said some people already do. I said that is not ours to carry. The son asked if it would make them change. I said probably not. I said, but it will make them stop pretending. The publish button waited. 1 click. 1 choice. I thought about the wedding day. The door lock. The music. The smile. I thought about the years of photos. The messages. The silence. I thought about this house. These kids. This moment. The cursor blinked. The question was simple. But the cost was not. Do I expose everything and let the truth burn what is left of my family? Or do I stay quiet to protect the kids from a storm I know will follow? What would you do?